my scrappy friends. So I have a actual layout for you guys. I know. With all this December daily stuff, which I am absolutely loving, I really haven't had a chance to do much 12 by 12 layouts. And I can tell you guys, I've been missing it. So this 12 by 12 layout is inspired by all of the new papers that are coming out that are very hand like drawn look, that hand like crafted look. I really am loving all that stuff, and have been seeing a lot of it and thinking, I could probably do this myself. Why don't I give it a try? Um, so what I am doing is I am taking some green watercolor paints, and this is just a watercolor that I got from my art store, like an arts and crafts store. And it's the kind that is in a tube and then you add the water to it. So if you add more water, it's, as you can see, the second row of triangles are less green. And this is a darker color green. And I really like it because it almost has that tealy look, which I am really loving that color this year, or lately, I should say. So I am just using my a thinner paintbrush to make triangles. Now, as you can see, this is not straight, it's not perfect by any means. So, I think I might do something like this again and maybe use a ruler because it doesn't necessarily bother me, but it bothers me a little bit. Like watching it back. The full layout looks, I really love the way it turned out, but just like watching this, I'm like, man, I totally did not do this straight at all. So I think maybe next time I'll try to get it maybe a little bit more perfect. But here's the thing about when you make a background yourself, what makes it unique is the fact that you did it and it wasn't done like a machine, or you didn't get on the computer and like cut and paste it and make it perfect. Those imperfections make it beautiful. And so I did green triangles because I was thinking about Christmas trees and I wasn't sure if I would be able to actually make Christmas trees on my layout that looked good. So I thought, hey, I'm going to go with just a basic shape, and a triangle is something that I can probably achieve. And so I'm just using my heat gun just to kind of make sure the rest of it dried. I try not to use too much water, as you guys could see. This cardstock is just a basic white cardstock from my local craft store. I have Stampin' Up! Cardstock, but it's like that glossy outside finish, and I didn't think that that would get the look that maybe I was looking for. So here I have some red paint because this is going to be a Christmas layout from a picture from last Christmas. So I'm taking a really thin, I mean, even thinner than before, paintbrush, and I am drawing circles, almost to be like the bulbs. On my Christmas tree last year, we got a big pack of red bulbs, so that's kind of what I was thinking. And because I have so many triangles, I really wanted to keep it simple and not overwhelm it. It took a minute because that part of me that wanted to overwhelm, use product, use this, I really wanted to add more, but I tried to, you know, hold that in and not do it. So here I took some just gold acrylic paint, and of course I dropped my brush there, so I have to fix it by adding a circle there, which in the end I really like it, except for I wish it wasn't so close to the triangle. So I just randomly added another circle there, and it kind of works with the red circles. And once again, and so I colored this other triangle. I wanted to do one more just to kind of like make it go throughout the layout, but I didn't want to go crazy. Once again, I'm really, really trying super hard to not go crazy because I know I'm gonna add some embellishment. I know I'm gonna do some other stuff. So here I have some leftover paint, and so I'm painting some snowflakes from American Craft, and thinking that maybe I'll use one. I wasn't sure. And usually, what I do with my leftover paint or whatever I'm doing, I will take another piece of cardstock, a piece of mixed media paper or like watercolor paper or something, and I will just use up that paint just so that I don't waste it, because sometimes it's harder to get it back in the bottle, but like I really don't want to waste that. So this is the configuration of these photos that I wanted to use. I wanted to use up more than one photo because on a lot of my layouts I use just one photo. And usually I'm okay with that, just using one photo, because I don't mind, especially since I'm a newer scrapbooker. I have a long way to catch up before I have a gazillion layouts done, right? And I tend to find that out of most of my pictures, I only have like one or two nice pictures, and the rest of them are kind of blurry. So that's actually one thing for this next year that I want to work on is taking better photos, using my camera instead of my phone camera because my phone camera sucks. Um, but anyway, that's besides the point. So I did have more than one because the camera that I had last year was different. And so I took a lot more photos on my camera that looked nice. So I am going to use three. And I am using October Afternoon paper. And pretty much I just went through my stash of papers that I was using for my December daily. I mean, I have most of that stuff like pretty much right around my desk just because I've been doing that and it takes up like my whole desk. And I haven't really been picking it up. I don't know about you guys. So I decided to mark where I had my photos because I really liked where they were, and if I didn't mark it, I probably would have put them in different places. So I used just a white pencil, and there's another piece of October Afternoon. And I tried to use colors that were similar. So that's like a greeny teal color. And then I use that other one is like a gold color. Because I really don't want it to over like be too much with because I have all that color on my page already. So here I'm replacing, and I only matte two of the photos. I leave that smaller photo unmatted because the way I'm configuring it, there's a lot of like edges that are going to be showing. So I figure that those edges will look nice. It'll give your eye something to focus on. So even though there's three photos, they're all different sizes and they're grouped together. So it's almost like they're one photo. Now, at first, I have a hard time, as you can see me sitting there staring at my layout, figuring out how I want, because I want to add extra papers or stuff to it. But I really am like, how am I going to do this and it not look awkward? Because I really want a lot of that open space because I work so hard on this background, right? I want it to show. And I have that crepe paper December. And so I know that that looked really good down there. And so I'm just going to work at it and I'm just going to play around and so I do kind of cut out some pieces that are similar to that. I use those crepe paper other pieces. I didn't like the colors or anything, so I just decide that I'm gonna use those as a stencil. I do that often. Like I'll take a tag or another like banner or flag or something, and I'll use it as a stencil so that I can, get that look with something up with another piece of paper, just because I like the shape. So, briefly to the layout, since I'm just kind of like fidgeting and moving stuff around. This photo is of my two daughters from last year when around a little bit after we put up the tree. The kids were all excited, and I don't think it was the day that we put the tree up. I think it was a little bit later, but I really wanted to make sure I got pictures of the kids near the tree. Um, so even though that winter I didn't really take that many photos. And so, but my kids were so excited to get pictures near the tree. They're like bouncing, they're jumping up and down. I'm surprised I had three pictures of them to scrap because they were jumping around so much. Most of the pictures that I took are blurry of a blurry child because they couldn't stand still. And so the name of the layout will be Smile and Shine, just because my kids are just like beaming because they are so excited. This really was the first Christmas that they really remembered from the year before. So my oldest daughter was 4, and my middle child, my other daughter, was 3. So they really were at that age where they remembered, and they were just bouncing. The energy from one child to the other was just like out of control. So it was like Christmas, you know. They had never experienced Christmas before. So they were so excited, and I was really glad to get this great picture because that this like I said, this Christmas was really difficult just because at the beginning of, I don't know if it was like November maybe, we started. If many of you don't know, I know I have a lot of new subscribers. My oldest daughter, Leilani, was diagnosed with leukemia in May of last year. And so during Christmas last year, we were going through the hardest part of her treatment. It's like they give her she had a lot of chemo, a lot of going in the clinic, her hair fell out. So this was a really, really difficult time. And actually, this is one of the first photos of her looking like this that I've been able to scrap. And I think it's just because she's so excited and so happy. So it was really nice and almost therapeutic for me to scrap this because I had had a hard time wrestling with the fact of having to scrap her with no hair because that was very traumatic for me to have to relive just because of, it was one of those things that was you know, a big part of who she was before. And knowing that she had to lose it was just really difficult. So, anyway, looking at these photos just really made it easier because she was just so excited, and so it really kind of helped me work through some of those feelings. And I mean, I think that's the thing about, I know that there's a lot of people that are going through, whatever, and the holidays are really difficult, but I think sometimes if we focus on the good parts of the holiday, then that'll help us work through the things that maybe aren't so great, whether we lost a loved one, whether, something, whatever happened, that just makes it difficult. So anyway, back to the layout, now that I'm like Miss Therapist here. I'm looking for sequins to just make my layout sparkle or something. I have been in love with sequins lately, so it's not a surprise that I'm using sequins. And I got in the beginning of the month, maybe, I got the December Merry Christmas, something like that, grab bag from Paper Issues, which their grab bags or swag bags are like amazing. They just like dump a whole bunch of stuff in there and it's just amazing. So the Christmas one was really, really fun. And there was a lot of bigger sequins, which I really, really like those. I'm going to have to find big ones again now that I've started using them. And there was some red ones left, so I just sprinkled those, and I'm going to use some gold sequins from my stash. And then I also use some enamel dots or like triangles. I'm not sure if I put any on there yet. So just a little bit more. And like I said, I tried not to overcomplicate this because the background is really busy, and I didn't want it to overpower the layout. So in a minute, you're going to see some close-ups and stuff like that. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this layout. I really enjoyed making it and sharing it with you guys. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.